Hey guys, it's Jeremy here at Metal Music Meltdown, back with another video. We're having today, guys, is a kind of a concert review. It's for the Back to the Beginning Black Sabbath big show that just happened on Saturday, July the 5th at Villa Park, Birmingham, England. Obviously, if you're a metal fan, this was the biggest news in the whole year of heavy metal. Black Sabbath playing their final show and farewell, and it was just a monster event. I couldn't afford to go in person, there's no way. The tickets were like, I think $800, and you had to buy minimum 2 tickets. So you're looking at $1,600. By the time you had airfare and hotel, you're probably spending like 3 or 4 grand for like a couple day event, and that's just out of my wheelhouse, unfortunately. But I was able to view it on the pay-per-view. Unfortunately, I did have to work the day it aired, so I couldn't really sit there and watch it for 10 hours. So I had to kind of watch it in segments, if you will. When I finished work on Saturday, I watched the end of it. And then on Sunday, when I had some time, I went back and watched the beginning. So I just wanted to give a quick recap and my kind of thoughts on the concert and the individual performances very quickly. I don't want to take too much time on it because I'm sure a lot of people probably watched it already or seen clips. But yeah, like I said, it just happened on July 5th, Villa Park, Aston, Birmingham, England. Kind of in the neighborhood where they first began back in 1968. And it was obviously the original lineup, Ozzy, Bill Ward, Tony Iommi, and Geezer Butler. And there's a lot of, discussion before the concert happened about what was going to happen because Ozzy's health was really poor. He wasn't even able to stand. And a lot of people were saying it's not going to be worth it because they're not going to play any songs at all at the end. And if they do, it's going to be really, really bad. And they were saying they were kind of selling it more on these special guest appearances they had, more so on than the Black Sabbath and Ozzy solo performances. So I had kind of mixed feelings at the beginning of how good or bad it was going to be. But either way, you got to pay your respects to arguably the greatest metal band of all time, the ones who started it all back in the day, 1970 first release. And yeah, let's jump right in, guys. So the first band that opened up the set earlier in the day was Mastodon. Super happy to see Mastodon on the bill. Always been one of my favorite kind of progressive sludgy metal bands. Most of the bands only played 15 or 20 minutes. The stage had this kind of Lazy Susan kind of setup, like it was a rotating stage. So when the band was playing in the front, they were setting up the next band in the back. So between bands, there's only about a 5 or 10 minute delay. So it was a very quick get through the bands really quickly. I was really impressed with their setup. It's very efficient and very quick. I wish they would do that for like festivals and big concerts that have a lot of bands. It's just a lot more practical that way. But yeah, Mastodon played, most of the bands played 15 or 20 minute sets, like very quick, a couple original songs, and then like usually one or a couple Sabbath or Ozzy songs. So Mastodon played Black Tongue and Blood Mountain for original songs, which are killer. And then they played Supernaut, which I thought was really cool. They had Danny Curry out there with them as well, and Mario Duplantier. But their version of Supernaut was really cool. I really enjoyed it. I thought it had a cool sound. I really enjoyed that one myself. And then the next band to come out was Rival Sons. It was nice to see Rival Sons on the bill. Definitely a band deserving of more coverage and more exposure. So I was really happy to see them on such a big bill. And they played Electric Funeral was the cover they played. And they also played Secret and Your Worst for their song, only 3 songs. And then Anthrax came out and did Indians and Into the Void. They're pretty good. Into the Void sounded pretty cool from Anthrax. I enjoyed that cover. And then Hailstorm came out and did Love Bites and So Do I, Rain Your Blood on Me. And then they did Perry Mason, which I think is from the Osmosis album from the solo Ozzy material. Nice little deep cut there. It was a single on the album. Like, it's not a deep cut, I guess, but I was kind of surprised the band did that song. But she did it really well. She sings really well. I was really impressed. It sounded really good. And then Lamb of God came out and kind of made it a little bit heavier. They played Laid to Rest and Redneck for their original songs, killer songs. And then they did Children of the Grave, which was really cool. Super heavy. They definitely made it heavier, more Lamb of God like. I really enjoyed their cover. It was really good. And then there's twice throughout this concert where they had like super groups come out, where it's kind of individual artists from other bands that kind of got together and played songs together. So the first super group they had was Lizzie Hale from Hailstorm. Jakey Lee was there. I was really happy to see he was there. David Elverson was there, and then Adam Wakeman on keyboards. And then Nuno Betancourt was there on the super group as well. And Mike Borden. And they played The Ultimate Sin, the cover, which is really cool. Shot in the Dark, I really enjoyed that one. That was really cool as well. That one had David Draymond on vocals. They were booing him on the stage, but I thought he sounded pretty good. I think a lot of medical heads just like to hate that guy because a lot of people, metalheads, see Disturbed as like poser metal or whatever. So he did kind of get booed on when he was on the stage, was kind of rough, but he sounded pretty good. I thought he sounded pretty good. And then he also sang with the supergroup. He did Sweet Leaf, which again I thought sounded pretty decent. Lizzie Hale singing Ultimate Sin I thought was pretty sweet as well. She sounded really good. They did Believer as well. They did Changes with the group Youngblood. I'm not familiar with them. I think they're a band group from the UK. I'm not really familiar with them, but they did the song Changes, which was decent. And then they did the video on the screen of Mr. Crowley done vocals by Jack Black, and then they had Scott Ian's son, Tom Morello's kid, and a couple other musicians' child as well. They did this like kind of School of Rock kind of who's who of kids from popular artists, and then Jack Black on vocals doing Mr. Crowley. He had like old like 1980 like Aussie outfit with the purple and purple and white with the tassels coming down, and the Aussie across the chest. He sounded really good. I always loved Jack Black. He can really pull it off. I would have loved to see him sing a couple of Sabbath songs up on stage. Would have been really cool. I really enjoyed that performance as well. And then the next band was Alice in Chains. They did Man in the Box, which was awesome. And they did Wood, and then they did their cover of Fairies Wear Boots. And I think they did a really good job. I always liked the new singer of Alice in Chains. He's not quite as good as Lane Stanley, but he's a really good replacement. Like, he does really, really well. Perfect guy to replace Lane Stanley. If there's any guy who could, it's him. And then Gojira came out and played Stranded and Silvera. I love those two songs by Gojira. And then played Under the Sun and Mea Culpa, which is another cool song. I like their set. They sounded really good. They're always good live. Really enjoyed their stuff as well. Then they had this kind of weird kind of drum off thing with Chad Smith from the Chili Peppers, Travis Barker of Blink-182, and Danny Carey from Tool. It was kind of an awkward kind of situation because all I remember seeing is Travis Barker going nuts on the drums. He looked like the guy from the Muppets, Animal, on the drums was swinging his arms around. And the other two were kind of just watching him, kind of looking at him like, okay, guys, when's my cue to go? So it was kind of weird, like they weren't really prepared. You can tell they didn't really practice it. It seemed like he was supposed to cut off a lot sooner. And the other guys were kind of looking at Travis like, okay, dude, when's my cue to start playing kind of thing. But overall it was okay, just an okay kind of little thing in the middle. And then the second super group came out, which had Billy Corrigan on vocals on the first two songs, Tom Morello on guitars, KK Downing, which was really cool to see him there, Adam Jones, Rudy Sarzo was really nice to see him, and then Danny Carey on drums. And they did Breaking the Law and Snowblind. And in my opinion, Billy Corrigan had the worst vocals of the whole night. It just didn't sound good at all. I think he just tried to sound like Ozzy too much, and it just wasn't working. He should have just made it his own and sang it in his style. But his style, in my opinion, on top of that, wouldn't really suit the music anyways. So yeah, I wasn't really a big fan of the songs that Billy Corrigan did, to be honest. I think it was a low point of the whole performance, the whole night, I should say, or the day. And then Sammy Hagar came out and did Flying High Again. He did Rock Candy from Montrose song, which was really cool. My cat wants up. and which was really nice. And I found on Flying High again, um, Haggard didn't seem to know the lyrics. Like it looked like he was making it up on the spot. Like it was kind of disappointing. He didn't learn the lyrics to the one song. There's teleprompters on the stage that were showing the lyrics. I remember one time at the performance, he was past the teleprompter, kind of like playing into the crowd, and you could tell on his face he kind of forgot the lyrics and had to run back and kind of look at the teleprompter to kind of pick up again. He knew the chorus, but the rest of the song you could tell he didn't really know that well. And then of course for the outro song, that was perfect because he knows that song well. And then surprisingly, Papa from Ghost came out and did "Bark at the Moon." I don't think he was. I can't remember if he was listed on the list of artists to come out, but I thought he sounded really good. I think he did it justice. I think it was a nice cover of the song, really cool sounding. And then Steven Tyler came out and did a train. The train kept on rolling and Walk This Way. And that was one of the highlights for me, Steven Tyler. Like, he could really sing. The dude's like, what, 75? Or he's got to be close to 80 now. And his voice sounded really good. Like, I was really shocked just how good he sounded. It was kind of funny because on the stream, there was kind of a lot of audio glitches on the stream, unfortunately. So it was kind of a lot of fuck ups, if you will. There's one part in the stream, well, all you can hear is Steven Tyler saying into the microphone, like the mic's not on, or something like that. He kept saying it over and over again, but clearly it was because you could hear him on the stream. It was kind of a weird little kind of fuck up thing. It was kind of funny. But when he actually started singing, he sounded really good. Like, definitely a highlight of the night for me. Really surprising how good he sounded. He looked really good too for how old he was. Like, he had his trademark look with the handkerchiefs on the microphone, his whole getup and everything. Like, he looked really good, sounded really good. I was really shocked. And after that, we had Pantera. They did Cowboys from Hell, Walk, and then they did for covers, they did Planet Caravan and Electric Funeral. I thought they were pretty decent. Nothing too mind-blowing, but just good. And then Tool came out and did 46 and 2, Hand of Doom, and then Enema. Pretty cool little set for Tool as well. I was kind of wondering what Tool was going to do because most of their songs are always really long. But really cool little set from Tool. They sounded pretty decent. And then the one of the big standouts for me when Slayer came out, that was a monster night for everybody. They played Disciple, War Ensemble, and then they did Wicked World, South of Heaven, Raining Blood, and Angel of Death. So they did a little bit more tracks than the other bands, but man, they ripped that place apart. You could see all those circle pits opening up in the crowd below. There's like 2 or 3 circle pits open up. And yeah, Slayer definitely was a highlight of the day for sure. Killer performance from them. And then Guns N' Roses came out and they did Never Say Die, Junior's Eyes, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, and then they did Welcome to the Jungle and Paradise City. So they played 2 of their monster tracks at the end. I was really surprised to see so many songs from Never Say Die in this show. Like Never Say Die, Junior's Eyes, Wicked World. Then afterwards Metallica did not Wicked World, sorry. Metallica did another one afterwards. But I didn't think Axl sounded good at all, to be honest. It didn't sound right to me. I didn't enjoy their performance that much. His voice is definitely starting to go. It doesn't sound that, he lost his power. It doesn't sound as good anymore. And then big band, of course, Metallica, kind of the biggest band to come out before Ozzy and Sabbath did their final thing. And they played Hole in the Sky and Creeping Death. I was happy to see they played Creeping Death, For Whom the Bell Tolls. And then they did Johnny Blade, so another song where I wasn't really surprised. I'm really surprised they did that deep cut. So many songs would Never Say Die that really shocked me at the end of the day. I thought they would have picked some other songs from the catalog. It was cool to see a deep cut, but just kind of really surprised me. But they played some cool Metallica tunes, Creeping Death, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Battery, and Master of Puppets. Really cool set from Metallica. They always sound good live. I'm never disappointed with them. They're always strong. And then the big things of the night, the solo Ozzy. So they had Ozzy kind of propped up in a big throne, big kind of grandiose kind of like, Prince of Darkness, all black throne. He had his eye makeup on and like a dark looking, all black, of course. And, he had him propped up there. And Zach Wald was there, of course. And he played I Don't Know, Mr. Crowley, which is an iconic song, Suicide Solution, Mama, I'm Coming Home, and then finished off with his most popular song, Crazy Train. I think the biggest moment of the night for myself, and one of the biggest moments anyways between myself and the whole audience there, was when he sang Mama, I'm Coming Home. There's just like an energy in the show at that moment. You could tell everyone in the eyes, and the crowd was just teary-eyed and really in the moment. And you could tell Ozzy was just so grateful to be there and do his kind of final farewell, and he was really in the moment. Ozzy, for considering his health, sounded okay. He didn't sound great. Like he did struggle and stumble a bit, but considering his health and Parkinson's and everything he has going on, I think he sounded pretty damn good. And he played 5 songs, 9 songs in total, including Sabbath. So I give him props. I wasn't expecting him to even play that much, to be honest. He could have sounded a lot worse. But I thought he sounded like decent considering. But when he sang Mama, I'm Coming Home, it was definitely a moment. Kind of you could tell it was kind of his goodbye kind of feeling kind of song. It was definitely an emotional moment for a lot of people. And even you can tell when he was singing, he was getting kind of choked up, and the emotions were getting the better of him. But a really nice performance from Ozzy. I really enjoyed that. And of course, at the end of the night, we have Black Sabbath with all the original members. They played War Pigs, NIB, Iron Man, and Paranoid. So 4, of course, their most iconic songs. It was kind of funny. A couple songs in, Bill Ward stripped off his shirt. It's still like a classic Bill Ward style. Again, Ozzy sounded decent, not great, but not horrible. The band sounded pretty solid. A couple of hiccups here and there, but overall pretty good. And the only downfall to this whole show, at least for the set list part of it, Black Sabbath, I think, should have ended playing the first, like the Black Sabbath titled song, like Black Sabbath. That would have been the best song to end the night on, in my opinion. I know Paranoid's a more popular song, but the title track is just where it all began, and the final show is called Back to the Beginning. So it kind of would have been cool just to go back to the beginning, to the very first big song, the self-titled song. That would have been a cool way to end it. But I thought overall it was a pretty good show, as well managed. Couple audio and stuff fuck ups here and there for the stream, but they did replay some of those moments kind of in between bands. They kind of replayed some moments that they knew they had some issues with the audio and stuff. Overall thoughts of the show, I thought it was really good, like better than I was expecting it to be. Most of the bands performed really well. Ozzy, considering his health, and Bill Ward as well, considering his health, played pretty well. Like, it was pretty good. Set list overall, pretty happy with what everyone played in general. My downfalls to the show, Billy Corgan sucked. I wasn't a big fan of Axl Rose's covers. I didn't think he sounded that great. Highlights of the show, Metallica was really solid. Slayer killed it. The Black Sabbath and Ozzy sets themselves were pretty decent. I liked Lizzie Hale a lot. She sounded really good. I liked Tobias Forge from Ghost playing Bark of the Moon. I thought he sounded really good. Lamb of God doing Children of Grave was a nice kind of heavy version. Just some really good covers. I was pretty pleasantly surprised. Otherwise, I think the recording of it, the quality of the video and the audio was pretty good considering it was a 10-hour stream. They did have some hiccups here and there, which is understandable, I guess, it being so long. But the way it was filmed, the camera angles they got and everything was really good. Good shots of the crowd, good angles from the stage and different eye levels and stuff. Really shot really well as well throughout the show. So that was done pretty well. Just a few hiccups, like I said, on the audio, but that's to be expected with such a long show, trying to stream it. But yeah, pretty cool show. Let me know down below, guys, what you thought of it, if you got a chance to stream it or get the pay-per-view, or if you were lucky there enough to be there in person. Let me know what how it was in person. And the last thing to mention, sorry it's such a long video, guys. At the very end of the night, it was kind of awkward on the stream because it shows, after they do their final song, Paranoid, it shows Ozzy sitting in the chair, kind of looking back and forth, kind of worried, like where is everybody, kind of thing. That was kind of a weird situation. It almost looks like they left him out there by himself, and he couldn't get up, kind of thing, like that kind of weird thing. But it didn't really show on the feed, Bill, like them coming out with a cake and everything. You didn't see that on the feed at all. So all you saw was Ozzy looking back behind the chair like this, yelling. I think he said, "Come back on the stage" or something. I think the guys left him out there for a couple of minutes on his own, just so he could kind of soak it in, because it's his final moment on stage, and just kind of soak in the crowd. I think that's kind of what really happened. But watching the stream is kind of almost sad and awkward, because he was like kind of looking behind the chair frantically, looking for somebody to come back on stage or help him. And that was kind of a weird little moment at the end. But when you watch it afterwards, when they showed the actual clips, they actually brought him out a cake, and it was not quite like that. It wasn't like that at all. And the other side part, kind of watching Ozzy perform too, there's a bunch of times he was like adjusting himself in the seat, like lifting himself up. You could tell he just wanted to stand up so badly, and just to kind of give his final greeting or final farewell. So it's kind of heartbreaking that he had to, stay seated. And at the end of the night, I found it kind of anticlimactic, because they didn't really even go out on stage and do a final bow or anything, or saying thank you guys for the 50-year support or whatever. It just kind of ended, and they walked off stage, and that was it. It was kind of a weird little anticlimactic ending in a way. It was kind of surprising. So I found that part a little weird as well. I thought they would have came out at least and surrounded Ozzy in the chair, did a bow, or maybe invited all the artists back out to do a final bow. But it just kind of ended abruptly, and it just kind of was over. So I thought that was kind of a weird ending. But otherwise, really cool show. Black Sabbath. It's going to be sad not seeing them being gone. They're like what started it all. And again, like I said, guys, let me know down below what you thought of the show, and what were your highlights and downfalls to the show. And sorry for the long video, guys. Just a lot to cover. And keep it metal, guys.